Have you ever wondered why the absolute most common verb in the English language is also, the most confusing one by
Oh, it's a
far?
total nightmare for beginners, yeah.
Right. I mean, you decide you want to learn English, you set your sights on like being able to speak English fluently, and then almost immediately you crash right into this one tiny two-letter word that just it totally refuses to play by the rules.
It changes its shape entirely depending on, well, who is talking or when they're talking.
Exactly. You're looking for a simple be, but instead you get hit with am, is, are, was, were, been, being. It's honestly, it's enough to make anyone throw their textbook right out the window. Why on earth isn't it just I be, you be, he be?
Well, today, we are going to unlock the secret behind this shape-shifting monster. Welcome to Learn and Talk English podcast.
Hello, everyone. It is so great to be here with you today. We are super excited to have you all here because today we are going to show you exactly how to master this tricky verb to sound like a native speaker. So if you are using this show for your daily English listening practice, you are in the perfect place. We're keeping it simple, keeping it easy.
Yeah, and, I really want to reassure everyone listening, if you've ever felt a wave of frustration because you use is instead of are, or you just couldn't figure out been versus being, it's okay. We are going to break it all down into very small, simple parts together.
We totally are. And honestly, this isn't just about memorizing some boring grammar chart. By the end of this episode, you won't just understand the basic rules for easy English. You are going to learn a huge advanced trick called ellipsis that native speakers use to just drop words completely. It's wild.
It is. And we're also going back in time like 1,000 years to see exactly why this verb is so chaotic. There's a bizarre history there.
1,000-year-old mystery. I love it. Okay, let's jump right into the basics of this shape-shifting verb. Let's look at the present tense. What is the core job of the verb to be when we use it right now?
Basically, it means to exist, like I am here. Or it means to occur, the meeting is Tuesday.
Okay, or to have characteristics, right? Like, she is happy.
Exactly. It's the foundation of everything. But right away, we hit the biggest hurdle for anyone searching for, like English for beginners. And that's subject-verb agreement.
Subject-verb agreement. That sounds very academic.
It does, but in simple terms, it just means the verb has to match the person. English is actually pretty simple with most verbs. We just say, I walk, you walk, we walk, they walk. We only add an S for he or she walks.
Right, the other verbs are super easy, but to be is just stubborn.
So stubborn. It forces you to change the word entirely. For I, you absolutely have to use am. I am.
Okay. And for you, we and they.
Those all take are, you are, we are, they are.
Got it. And then the third person, he, she, and it.
That's where we use is. He is, she is, it is.
So am, are, is. That doesn't sound too bad when you just say the pronouns, but I know learners get tripped up when we start using actual names. Let's do a little worksheet example here. Let's say a learner writes, Mr. Paddington are from Peru.
Right, which makes a lot of sense if you're just guessing. But we have to look at the subject. Mr. Paddington is one man. He's a singular person.
So in our heads, we have to swap Mr. Paddington for the pronoun he.
Exactly. You swap it for he, and what goes with he is. So the correct sentence is, Mr. Paddington is from Peru.
Okay, that makes sense. But what about this one? Maria and Joseph is at the supermarket.
Ah, yeah, that's a classic mistake. A learner might look at Maria and think she, so they want to use is. Or they look at Joseph and think he, so they use is.
Right, because she is and he is are both correct on their own.
But you have to look at the word and. Maria and Joseph together, that's two people. That makes them plural.
So they become a they.
Exactly. And they always takes are. So Maria and Joseph are at the supermarket.
You really have to do some quick mental math before you speak. You have to calculate how many people are in the subject.
You do, but with enough English-speaking practice, it becomes completely automatic. And speaking of automatic native speech, we really need to talk about contractions. If you want to improve your English vocabulary and sound natural in an English conversation, you have to squish these words together.
Oh, yes. Native speakers are, quite frankly, very lazy when we speak.
We really are. We try to save physical effort.
Yeah.
We don't say every single vowel, so instead of saying the full I am, we just smash it together and say I.
I'm very happy, not I am very happy.
Exactly. You are becomes your, he is becomes he.
He is becomes she's, it is becomes it.
And we are becomes we're, they are becomes their.
It's so important for English listening practice because if you're watching a movie, the actors are not clearly separating they and are. They're just saying there. If you're listening for a clear are, you'll miss the whole sentence.
Be totally lost, yeah.
But wait, this brings up a huge question I get all the time from learners. What about sentences that start with the word there? Like, there is and there are.
Oh, that's a really good one.
Because there isn't a person. It isn't a he or a they. There is the very first word in the sentence. How do we know if we should use is or are?
Yeah, that's a super confusing quirk of the language. In these sentences, the word there is what we call a dummy subject. It's fake. It's just holding the space because English demands the sentence starts with something.
It's just a placeholder. It has no meaning.
Right, zero meaning. So because there is fake, the verb has to look past it. It literally has to scan forward into the rest of the sentence to find the real, true subject.
Oh, wow. Let's do an example to make that super clear for everyone.
Okay, imagine you walk into a room and you see one book on the table. The real subject is a book. A book is singular.
So because book is singular, the verb has to be is. There is a book.
Exactly. But if you walk to a park and you see a group of ducks, the real subject is the ducks. Ducks is plural.
Plural means are. So there are the ducks.
You got it. The verb is reacting to whatever comes after it. There is a problem versus there are many problems.
That is such a cool mental image. The verb scanning ahead like a radar. Repeating these phrases out loud is incredible English-speaking practice. Say it with us, there is a book.
There are the ducks.
Awesome. Okay, so we've got positive statements down, but what about saying no? What about negatives and asking questions?
Well, the cool thing about the verb to be is that making a negative is actually really easy. With most verbs, you have to bring in extra helping words. Like, you can't just say, I run not. You have to add do and say, I do not run.
Right, the dreaded do and does.
Exactly. But to be doesn't need any help. It's strong enough on its own. To make it negative, you just put the word not right after the verb.
So I am becomes I am not.
Right. You are becomes you are not. She is becomes she is not.
Let's do a little mini story about a very grumpy character to practice this. He isn't happy. It isn't sunny. They aren't friends.
That's a very sad story, but great grammar. Notice how you just use the short forms there, too. You squish them together.
Oh, yeah. The negative contractions, we don't say you are not in casual speech. We say you aren't.
She isn't. They aren't.
But wait, did you notice the weird exception for I?
Oh, right. Why can't I squish am and not together? Like, if I can say you aren't, why can't I say I amn't? It seems completely unfair.
It does seem unfair. And it's basically just because am is physically really hard for humans to say. Try saying it.
Amped. Yeah, it feels like my tongue is getting tied in a knot.
Exactly. The M and the N right next to each other is too much work. So hundreds of years ago, English speakers just gave up. Instead, we squish the pronoun and the verb. We say I'm and leave the not all by itself. I'm not.
I'm not. That is so much easier to say. Okay, so it's not a crazy rule to torture learners. It's just about being physically lazy with our mouths.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay, what about asking questions? How do we interrogate someone with this verb? This is where to be does its magic trick. Again, no helping verbs needed. It just literally picks itself up and moves to the very front of the sentence.
It jumps to the front.
Yeah. If the statement is, you are Mark, you just grab the R and move it, it becomes, are you Mark?
Wow. So she is happy jumps to, is she happy?
Exactly. They are waiting becomes, are they waiting? You just flip the order.
That is so clean and simple once you see the pattern. But wait, I have a big question about the short answers. When someone asks me, are you Mark? I know the natural way to reply is just a short, yes, I am, or no, I'm not.
Right. You don't need to repeat the whole sentence.
But here's the thing. We just talked about how much native speakers love contractions and being lazy. So why can't I use a contraction for a positive short answer? Why can't I say, yes, I'm out?
I love this question. It drives learners crazy.
It really does. Yes, I'm out is faster. Why is it wrong?
It's wrong because of the music of English. It's about rhythm. When we finish a sentence in English, our voice naturally drops down in pitch. We put a heavy stress on that final word to let the other person know, hey, I'm done talking.
Right. It's like an audio period at the end of a sentence.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But contractions like I'm or he's are weak. They're designed to be fast and light. They literally cannot hold that heavy downward stress.
Oh, let me try it. If I say, yes, I am, my voice really lands hard on the M. It feels solid. But if I say, yes, my throat just kind of
It
closes.
sounds totally cut off, right? Like you're going to say something else. Yes, I am.
That makes total sense. You have to unpack the contraction to give your voice a solid landing pad. Yes, I am. Yes, she is. Never, yes, she's. That is a massive light bulb moment for speaking English fluently.
It really is. It bridges the gap between written rules and actual speech.
Okay, this is a great transition. We've mastered the present moment. But to really hold an English conversation, we need time travel. We have to talk about the past and the future.
And honestly, the past tense is a bit of a relief. In the present, we had to juggle 3 words, am, is, and are. In the past, we only have 2.
Just two. Was and were.
Right. For I, he, she, and its, we just use was. I was happy, he was tired.
And for all the plurals, we, they, plus you, we use were. You were late. We were in danger.
Very simple. You just memorize the 2 categories.
Yeah.
But there is one really weird exception.
Oh boy. I know exactly what you're talking about, the imaginary situations.
Yeah. We call it the subjunctive mood. It sounds fancy, but it just means we are talking about a fantasy, something that is not true.
Like if I'm giving you advice, I might say, if I were you, I'd be careful. Wait, I just said if I were, but the rule for the past tense is I was.
I know, it breaks the rule on purpose. Because you are not actually me. It's physically impossible for you to be me.
It's a total fantasy.
So to signal to the listener that we are in fantasy land, the grammar shifts. We use where for everything. If I were you. Sally wishes she were taller.
That is a fantastic English expression to memorize. It's like a little flag waving in the sentence saying, hey, this isn't real.
Exactly. Now, to be fair, in very casual street English, you will hear people say, if I was you. The rule is slowly fading. But if you want to sound really polished and fluent, definitely use if I were.
Awesome. Okay, so that's the past and the fantasy present. What about the future? How do we talk about tomorrow?
The future is actually the easiest of all. We completely stop changing the word be. We just use its pure naked form.
Naked form. I love that.
Just be. Because to talk about the future, we use words like will. And after will, you always use the naked form of a verb.
So no will am or will is.
Never. It's just, I will be in Manila tomorrow. Or, they will be happy. The subject doesn't matter at all.
That is so easy. And does that work for other modal words too, like can or should or might?
It works for all of them. You can be anything. It might be raining. He should be here by now. The modal does all the heavy lifting, and be just sits there in its pure form.
Guys, if you are listening to this on your way to work or while cleaning the house, pause and really think about that. Practicing listening to these different time changes, past, present, future, builds incredibly strong English listening practice.
It really does. Because in normal speech, those modal words go by really fast.
Okay, speaking of things going by really fast and confusing people, it is time for the tricky twins.
Oh, yes. The twins. Been, spelled B-E-E-N, and being, spelled B-E-I-N-G.
They sound almost the same, they look almost the same, but they have completely different jobs. Let's break this down very, very simply. Let's start with been.
Okay, the golden rule for been is that it almost never works alone. It always needs a helper word. Specifically have, has, or had.
Okay, so have been, has been. When do we use that?
We use it for perfect tenses. I like to think of been as a bridge.
A bridge.
Yeah, a bridge connecting the past to the present moment. If you just say, I was in London, that's a closed door. It's over. But if you say, I have been to London, you're building a bridge from that past trip all the way to who you are right now.
Oh, I see. Or what about an action that hasn't stopped? Like, she has been here all day.
Perfect example. The action started in the past, and the has been bridge carries it right up to this exact second. She's still here.
Okay, so been is a bridge. What about its twin, being, with the ing?
If been is a bridge, being is a snapshot, like a quick photo of something happening right exactly now. We use it for continuous actions.
Can you give me an example?
Sure. Think about personality versus temporary behavior. If I say John is suspicious, I'm saying that's just his permanent personality.
John is just a suspicious guy. Always.
Right. But if I say John is being suspicious, that's a snapshot. Right now, in this moment, he is acting that way.
You are being awfully quiet. It means just for this moment, you are quiet.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It highlights temporary behavior. And being has one other cool trick. You can actually use it as a noun, a thing.
Wait, a verb acting like a noun?
Yeah. It's called a gerund. For example, being early for school is his goal. In that sentence, being early is the actual thing we're talking about.
Being a parent is hard. The state of being a parent is the subject. Wow. Okay, I want to do a quick spoken quiz for our listeners.
Oh, let's do it.
I'm going to say a sentence with a blank. If you're listening, try to guess if the blank should be been or being before the expert gives the answer. Ready? Number 1, I have. Waiting for you.
That's been. I have been waiting. Because of the helper word have.
Good. Okay. Number 2, stop. So loud.
That being. Stop being so loud. It's a snapshot of behavior right now.
Excellent. One more. She had never. So tired in her life.
That is been. She had never been. The had builds the bridge.
I love that bridge and snapshot analogy. That's going to help so many people learn English faster. Okay, so we've seen how the word changes shape, but to be doesn't just change its clothes, it changes its actual full-time job in a sentence.
It wears so many hats. We can break it down into a few main roles. The most common one is acting as a linking verb.
A linking verb. What exactly is it linking?
It acts exactly like an equal sign in math. It just links the subject to a description. Like the cat is black. That just means cat equals black.
I am happy. I equals happy.
Right. There's no action happening. The verb is just a bridge, well, an equals sign, connecting the two concepts.
Are there other verbs that act like equals signs?
Yeah, sensory verbs, like seem or smell. The soup smells delicious is the exact same math as the soup is delicious.
Okay, so rule number 1 is the equals sign. What's the second rule?
The complete verb. Sometimes it doesn't link to anything. It just states that something exists or tells you where it is.
Like, I am here.
Exactly. Or, the cookies are on the counter. Are isn't describing the cookies, it's just telling you their location.
So simple, but so important. Okay, what's the third job?
The helper verb, or auxiliary verb. This is when to be steps back and just helps another main verb do its job.
Like the continuous tenses we talked about. The dog is barking, the main action is barking, the is just helps show it's happening right now.
Exactly. But the most interesting helper job it has is building the passive voice.
Ooh, the passive voice. A lot of beginners, when they want to learn English for daily life, they get told to avoid the passive voice. Like it's only for academic writing or lawyers. Should we be using it?
You absolutely have to use it
Yeah.
in daily life. It's so natural. We use the passive voice when we want to shift the focus from the person doing the action to the thing receiving the action.
From the doer to the object.
Right. An active sentence is, the boy threw the ball. The focus is on the boy.
But what if I only care about the ball?
Then you use to be to flip it. The ball was thrown by the boy. We put the object first, then our to be verb was, and then the past action, thrown.
The ball was thrown. And this is crucial for daily survival English. If I walk outside and my car isn't there, I don't know who took it. I can't say a thief stole my car. I don't know that. I have to say my car was stolen.
Exactly. My car was stolen. It's totally natural and necessary when you don't know who did the action.
Okay, this brings us to a huge, huge secret. A secret that will immediately help you understand real-life English conversation.
This is the good stuff.
We've talked about all these rules, but sometimes the best way to use the verb to be is to literally make it disappear completely.
It's basically magic. We call it ellipsis.
Ellipsis. What is that?
It's the act of leaving out words in informal conversation when the meaning is completely obvious to everyone. Native speakers are, like we said, very efficient. We drop words all the time.
It's why listening to native speakers can feel so fast and overwhelming. It's not just that we talk fast, it's that 30% of the words you're looking for aren't even there.
Let's give some examples. The first place we drop words is after linkers, like and or but. Let's take the sentence. Claire is working a lot, and she is getting up early.
It's a perfect textbook sentence.
Grammatically perfect, yeah. But a native speaker would never repeat, she is. We already know we are talking about Claire, so we drop it. Claire is working a lot and getting up early.
And getting up early. We just delete the subject and the verb completely.
Another huge one is dropping words after the word to.
Oh, I do this all day long. If someone asks me, did you go to the new restaurant? The full answer is, I wanted to try that new restaurant, but it's across town.
But that takes way too long. So you just stop at the word to. I wanted to,
I
but
tried to. I'd love to. You just chop the end of the sentence off.
it's so efficient. But the craziest one, the one that really confuses learners, is when we drop subjects and verbs at the very beginning of a question.
Yes. Instead of asking, are you going to Gina's party? What do we say?
We just say, you going to Gina's party.
Yeah.
We completely drop the are.
Or, do you want some coffee? Just becomes, want some coffee?
We rely completely on the tone of our voice going up at the end to show it's a question. Want some coffee?
We even drop pronouns. Like if you tell me a good idea, I don't say, that sounds familiar. I just say, sounds familiar.
Or wouldn't have occurred to me. instead of it wouldn't have occurred to me.
Knowing this trick will make watching TV shows and movies so much easier. You aren't crazy. The words really are missing. But we have to give a quick warning here. You can't just drop words everywhere, right?
Right, there are limits. Ellipsis totally breaks down after certain words, like before, after, or because.
So I can't say, we watch TV after have dinner.
No, that sounds totally broken to a native ear.
Yeah.
You have to say, after we have dinner. The after requires the full clause.
And you can't drop I or it in questions, usually. You wouldn't say, giving you an idea, instead of, have I given you an idea?
No, it just sounds way too confusing.
Okay, so we've learned the rules. We've learned how to break the rules with ellipsis. Now I want to ask the ultimate question, the question everyone wants to know. Why?
The history.
Yes. Why doesn't English just use I, be, you, be, he, be? Why do we have this crazy mix of am, is, are, was, were?
Well, the truth is, this verb is basically a Frankenstein monster.
A Frankenstein monster? What do you mean?
I mean, it's a single word stitched together from different dead languages because normal, everyday people just kept mixing things up over hundreds of years. The fancy word for this is suppletion.
Suppletion. When different roots just crash together. So take us back. Where does this start?
We have to go back 1,000 years to Old English. Back then, there wasn't just one verb for to be. There were two completely separate verbs, be on and was on.
Two verbs. How do they know which one to use?
They used them for different things. Be on was used for things that were always true or for the future. Like a king might say, I will be the king.
Okay, and the other one, wizon.
Wizon was used for right now, the simple present. I am the king right now.
But people are lazy, right? We just talked about contractions and ellipsis. I'm guessing people got tired of having two verbs.
Exactly. Over centuries of talking in markets and pubs, the two verbs just smashed together. But the crazy part is, those two verbs actually came from even older, ancient roots from a language called Proto-Indo-European.
Okay, let's break down where our modern words actually came from. What about am and is?
Am and is come from a really ancient root called es. It's actually the exact same root that gave Latin the words sum and est.
Wow, so am and is are like distant cousins of Latin. Okay, what about be and ben?
Those come from a root called bu, which meant to grow or to exist, like a plant growing out of the ground.
That is beautiful. Okay, and what about the past tense, was and were?
Those survived from that second Old English verb, wesen. They came from an ancient root meaning to remain or to dwell.
So am is from Latin cousins, be means to grow, and was means to dwell. We are stitching the monster together. But wait, what about are? Are doesn't sound like any of those.
Are is the wildest part of the story. Are came from the Vikings.
The Viking.
Yeah. When the Vikings invaded England from Scandinavia, they spoke Old Norse. Their word for existing came from a root meaning to arise. In their language, it was pronounced like
And the English people just stole it.
The English plural forms were super messy at the time, so they basically just adopted the Viking word because it was easier. And eventually became our modern
That is just incredible. So this verb isn't just arbitrary grammar invented by some strict teachers to torture students. It's this beautiful, messy, patched-together result of human beings trading, fighting, and talking over 1,000 years.
Exactly. It's the history of the people, right there in one word.
I love that. What a journey. Okay, let's give a slow, friendly recap of everything we've conquered today.
We covered a lot of ground. We started with the present tense and subject-verb agreement, making sure our subjects match am, is, or are.
We learned that there's just a dummy placeholder, and the real subject is hiding after the verb.
We tackled negatives and questions, and why you can never answer with yes, I'm I, because your voice needs a place to land.
We time-traveled to the past with the was and were, and learned the subjunctive fantasy flag, if I were you.
We cleared up the tricky twins. Been is the bridge connecting the past to the present, and being is the snapshot of temporary behavior right now.
We looked at the multi-tool jobs of the verb, including how it builds the passive voice. And we unlocked the native seeker secret of ellipsis-making words disappear to speak fast and efficient English.
And finally, we looked at the Viking invasions and ancient roots that stitched this whole Frankenstein word together.
It has been amazing. And, I want to leave you, our listeners, with one final provocative thought. We just learned that the verb to be was formed by normal people breaking the grammar rules 1,000 years ago.
Right, the mistakes became the new rules.
So language is always changing. What rules are we breaking today that might become standard English in the year 3000?
Oh, that's fascinating. I mean, maybe that informal ellipsis we just learned, like dropping the "are you" and just saying, going to the party, maybe that will become the strict formal grammar of the future.
In 1,000 years, teachers might fail students for using too many words. It's so cool to think about. Thank you all so much for spending this time practicing your English with us today.
Yes, thank you for joining us on this really fun exploration.
If you loved this episode and want to continue your English listening practice, please subscribe, like, and leave a comment below. What is your favorite English expression that we talked about today? Let us know.
We love reading your comments.
Keep listening to podcasts on Learn and Talk English, where we bring you high-quality educational English content to help you speak English fluently. Keep practicing, keep talking, and we will see you next time.